Get that footage of Diddy.
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps.
So this one night, 50 called me up, and they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old time shit. Sit down with Black Hands, sit down with with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going to be doing.
Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life. That footage ended up going to 50 Cent.
And maybe that's what Snoop went through, I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. Pac just had died.
When 50 Cent, Music, dropped his Netflix documentary Sean Combs, The Reckoning, many assumed the lens was locked squarely on Diddy, his ascent, his power, and his downfall. But that clarity didn't last long. The internet quickly redirected the conversation, dragging Snoop Dogg into the narrative through whispers that he was silent for a reason, shielded from scrutiny, or absent, Music, because certain details never made it into the film. Those rumors were then stretched further as remarks from Gone Deal and others were selectively reframed, stitched together with dated interviews, vague clips, and secondhand audio to fuel far bolder claims than the evidence supports. Social media did what it always does, magnified speculation, pressured silence into meaning, and convinced audiences that another major reckoning was imminent. Strip away the hype, though, and what remains is far less explosive. Built largely on music. Recycled talk and exaggerated interpretations rather than hard proof.
It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, Tupac and Snoop being cool, and how, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, he also speaks on how, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. Let's download it right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs for Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs for Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, old bitch ass, this motherfucker telling, well, fuck Pac, according to everybody else. He brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these the dudes who running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop? What's up, huh?
Hey, whoa, wait a minute, fellas here, hold on. I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him, that's my peoples.
Real, that's what we came in for. We came in to light it up and ride it up. We make music happen.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfucker that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that. Like now, okay, you know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion that, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. We grown now. If he want to be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this individual. You know what I mean? Even if you don't agree with him, you probably could have said, you know what, I probably ain't gonna come out, publicly with this because until things clear up. So I really know I could be certain that, they didn't have nothing to do with Pac. But it's like, it was no, okay, it is what it is. So that I never really respected that back then.
So you had an issue with it. You didn't like it.
Never really liked it. It just was a strange look because you was Pac boy. You know what I mean? Puffy, it's clear they had some issues with Pac. And Pac died, and all of a sudden you chilling with Puffy. Back then it just, okay, now you can say what you want. You go all grandfathers, I guess. You know what I mean? That's different now. But back then I think it was weird, it was tasteless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you really had that much love for Pac. You could have just, you know what I mean? Unless he pressured them or like questioned Puffy, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Then you could say, you know what I mean?
Snoop Dogg's name never appeared in court documents, indictments, or the federal case that led to Diddy's conviction. Yet, online narratives still pushed him into the center of serious music claims without solid backing. That shift didn't come from evidence, but from history. Music. His long-standing presence in the music industry, where his career naturally overlapped with powerful figures during hip-hop's most chaotic era. After the documentary aired, comments from a former insider were loosely interpreted to suggest that certain people felt uneasy because not everything made it into the final cut, and that single implication was music, enough to ignite speculation. Rumor-driven platforms quickly ran with the idea that material had been withheld to prevent wider fallout, turning visibility and industry connections into grounds for suspicion. Old clips, recycled music, interviews, and unverified claims were repackaged as proof, while silence, music, was framed.
Like I believe somebody mentioned that they seen a video with me and the dude Prodigy or one of the dudes from our Deep, as if I was with. They don't know the backdrop of that. I went to his hotel room ready to fight. Like, bro, I'll fight everybody in that room one-on-one. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. The Outlaws was with me. My homie Tiny, the Mexican homie, was with me. I didn't go there and say, let me get in a video with these guys. I went there knocking on their door, doom, doom, doom. Tell them dudes to come out. What's up with y'all? What's up with you and Pac? You got a problem with Pac? Because we could just fight like man to man, face to face, and then shake hands. That was my approach with them. But when they told me they didn't have no problem, I don't mind being with you. You know what I mean? I don't mind shaking your hand because they told me they had love for Pac. So that's different, you know what I mean? If he come out and say, well, I questioned Puffy about it. I believe that he didn't, he loved Pac. That's my opinion. I can move the way I want to move. So when people try to, I noticed somebody, I think on your page do that. Well, Napoleon was in the video with Mobb Deep. They don't know how I got in that video with Mobb Deep, you know what I mean? I pulled up on him but I'm the type of person, I never been a bully type of person. You know what I mean? If I talk to a person like a man and they tell me face to face, look, I got love for Pac, I'm comfortable to know if I can look in their eyes, if I believe what they said, I have the right to say, okay, no problem, I believe you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what Snoop went through, I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. Pac just had died. You know what I mean? Like, he had the right to say, the reason why I'm rolling with Puffy, I questioned him about my homie, he gave me this answer. So then he did what he had to do, but it just, you know what I mean? I never really agree with that, to be honest. The same way I couldn't be on the stage with him. When they wanted to do that tribute, I just couldn't do it. Like, I really felt in my heart like,
this is where the danger truly sets in. When proximity is treated as proof, suspicion outweighs facts. And the story drifts further from reality with every music repost. In moments like this, volume replaces credibility and the loudest claims are often the weakest. Music, Sean Combs. The reckoning was never framed as an industry-wide takedown. It was explicitly focused on one individual and one documented case. The film traced Diddy's rise through Bad Boy Records, the power networks that insulated him, and the music, long-standing patterns of control tied to his conviction, grounding its narrative in victim testimony, verified records, and the legal process that resulted in a 50-month sentence. What it did not do was cast blame beyond the evidence, or drag unrelated music figures into criminal narratives without support. No part of the documentary accused Snoop Dogg of wrongdoing, nor did it present material implying his involvement. Music, assertions that footage or names were intentionally withheld to protect anyone remain in proven speculation, not fact.
He was doing a documentary thinking he was going to come out triumphant.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how this started, is he started filming himself and getting this footage because he thought he was going to beat everything. Okay,
Diddy
that makes sense. Okay.
Has a relationship
with Netflix. I knew that.
With
Ted Sarandis. I saw that. Yes. Okay.
And he's filming it there. But of course, when you get, obviously it wasn't a clean sweep on the prosecutor's side, but you're still going to prison.
Yeah.
He basically kind of scraps it. It's not also Netflix is saying, because they commissioned it, right? Netflix is saying, all right, cool, just turn over what you got, and what we'll do, we'll make it what it is, because we're just following reality. Diddy's like, well, hold on now. If I lost the case, I'm down to still do it with you, but I got to be able to control it. Now, Diddy was probably going to kind of shape this doc to make it look like, hey, this was malicious prosecution. They kind of went really hard at me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a perfect guy, but I am a good guy.
Yeah.
And Diddy was like, I need to be able to craft it. And Netflix was like, no, you're not. And he's like,
well, my question is, did he sign the footage over to Netflix so they own it? Mm-mm. Like, how were they able to do this without his?
No, but he didn't pay for it. So essentially, they're calling it a payment error. Ooh. So essentially, the deal falls apart, or he's like, yo, we're not going to do this.
So awkward.
And the people who did the work that have all this footage, they're like, so wait, you told us to film because this is going to be on Netflix. Now you're saying Netflix doesn't exist, and we're not getting paid because Diddy was going to pay with Netflix money. And Netflix realized this, and they went to the filmers and said, hey, give us.
If anything, the documentary stood out for its restraint in a media climate obsessed with shock and exaggeration. It deliberately avoided naming anyone unless their role was backed by records or credible testimony that could survive real scrutiny, which is exactly why claims about hidden or suppressed footage continue to fall flat. No verified material has emerged, no court filings point in that direction, music, and no investigators have identified him as part of any inquiry. Music. On the contrary, he openly showed support for the project after its release, publicly aligning himself with its creator and signaling that there was no behind-the-scenes tension at all. That reality undercuts the narrative of quiet panic or concealed fear because public solidarity doesn't match the behavior of someone worried about what might come out next.
Through the prism of a modern-day rhetorical genius. A modern-day rhetorical genius. We're talking about the one, the great, the 50 Cent. All right, this guy's skill at rhetoric is absolutely next level. And this totally ties in with, how he famously is a big fan of Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Now, rhetoric with a capital R, I can just give you the definition of that. That's basically public speech, particularly public speech that is to persuade. Any persuasive public speech is rhetoric, right? Now, we kind of break that down into two subcategories of rhetoric with a lowercase r and dialectic. Rhetoric is essentially everything else, and really what moves the needle with like 97% of people and 100% of groups, okay, is in fact rhetoric with the lowercase r. So again, stuff like this, 50 Cent is an absolute master of. Basically, he dropped this doc, this 50, this Sean Puffy Combs doc, and it's just kind of set the internet on fire. It's beating out Stranger Things. Like, it's a wild ride to watch, right? And one of the things that he does is he breaks down Diddy's character on Diddy.
One frequently recycled claim traces back to remarks from Courtney Burgess, who alleged he possessed flash drives connected to Kim Porter and suggested they contained sensitive material involving well-known figures. But online speculation quickly filled the gaps by attaching music names without evidence. Critical context was ignored as Porter's children publicly rejected the authenticity of anything attributed to her, and authorities have never verified the contents of those drives. In legal reality, unconfirmed material proves nothing, and to date, no authenticated documents, footage, or filings have named anyone or been released to support these claims. Instead, hints were inflated into assumptions, assumptions into certainty, and misinformation spread faster than facts. Rumors turned into headlines, headlines hardened into narratives, and credibility was left behind. Simply possessing unverified material is not proof of wrongdoing. Because legal standards demand validation and reliability, standard social media routinely bypasses. That's why claims of pressure or scrutiny collapse under review, as there is no indication of questioning, investigation, or legal linkage tied to these allegations as of December 2025.
Because he wanted them to both Suge and Pac.
In the car?
They only Pac, and they don't Suge. So allegedly, they got paid $500,000. The $500,000 was paid to the guy on the right, all the way to the right. You see the guy on the right?
Corey.
He's the one allegedly that got the $500,000, and that money never went to Keefe D or anybody else. The guy on the left is the one that stole the chain, the chain, which was a Death Row Records chain. That's a way of saying I got your rapper's chain, because if you were one of the guys, Death Row. So long story short, this whole thing is in recording that he said this. So what does Diddy do? Rob, can you pull up this song? It's a song called Black Rob, featuring Mark Curry and Mario Winans. If you can just type in lyrics, okay? So he gets $1 million. Can you go to the lyrics? And Diddy's in the lyrics when he gets started. Go a little bit lower. Boom. Can you type in the word in there, Rob? Nice guy. Type Control F, nice guy. Okay, right there. Look at it's 1999. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Been nice too long. I'm just gonna start making y'all blank disappear. Man, first I'm gonna take your records off the radio. Then I'm gonna erase your social security number. Take your birth certificate out, flies. I'm gonna do your whole effing family. Ain't nothing but mercy. And then, by the way, in the lyrics, he says, I'll drop $1 million on your head to erase you. Can you type in, I'll drop $1 million, just put Control F. Just go to Google and type this out. I'll drop $1 million on your head. I'll drop $1 million on your head, and just put Diddy next to it. Right there. See, it says Black Rob. What song came up? I'll drop $1 million on your head. Erase you and your whole family, biatch.
Wow.
He's saying it in the song on what he did to get rid of two.
Claims from Suge Knight have resurfaced for years. Music. Repeatedly accusing Snoop Dogg of betrayal and tying him to events surrounding Tupac Shakur's death, especially whenever the industry comes under renewed pressure. But these statements are recycled allegations, music, not fresh evidence. They originate from prison interviews designed to provoke attention through controversy, not from verified findings, music, and none of them have ever been proven. Snoop has consistently rejected the accusations, labeling them as false narratives driven by old rivalries and personal bitterness rather than facts. Most importantly, despite decades of investigations into Tupac's killing, law enforcement has never charged Snoop, never named him
for being out there and allowing Misa to come out there to make money, however she was doing it, to feed her family. He vowed down that it's like, yo, I ain't never f***ing with her again, and I ain't never f***ing with him again. Puff and Suge had a conversation behind the House of Blues about was we all right, and Tupac was alive. Tupac wasn't dead. So if it was a war, Suge ain't having no conversation with Puff about we good. I know he could be doing the Hoboken hustle, trying to fool him, brother. But had he killed my man or some like that, I wouldn't have no conversation with Puff. I'd been like, yo, you know what y'all niggas done? You know what happened? And it wasn't no conversation like that, brother. It wasn't no conversation whereas that, Suge made Puff feel like I'm gonna get you a payback for what happened to Jake. This was more so that Puff
for whatever Suge, for whatever reason, he was mad at Puff. And Puff, for whatever reason he was mad at Suge, it was between them two. It wasn't no whole East Coast wanted the West Coast dead, and the West Coast wanted East Coast to dead, because they still was going out, still chilling, still at places with each other. It was Bad Boy, and it was Death Row. It wasn't no East Coast and no West Coast. West Coast dudes were still coming out on the East Coast getting love. East Coast niggas was still going out on the West Coast getting love. It was Bad Boy versus Death Row. And that's what it was, bro. And it was because of the two CEOs. But Suge tried to straighten it out. I gotta get at the Suge. The Death Row East Coast, the Death Row East was going to bring in Eric B. It was going to bring in Big D. And those brothers was from the East Coast. So now, they was looking for a representative to come to the meeting from Bad Boy, so they could straighten out the between Pac and Big and Death Row and Bad Boy. And Puff is the one who refused. Puff is the one to refuse to send a representative or either come himself. And got mad at Zip and them because they were in the Mirage on 57th Street partying with Suge Knight. Got mad at them. And Zip hung up the phone on him behind that.
Online narratives often confuse repetition with proof, where constant exposure makes unverified claims feel legitimate, even when they've never been supported by facts. That psychological effect is powerful and frequently exploited, while critical context is pushed aside. The breakdown between Suge and Snoop happened decades ago amid documented business conflicts. Personal fallout and public feuds, making accusations rooted in that era something to scrutinize, not blindly accept. Repeating those claims today doesn't add credibility. It only turns old noise into louder noise.
So, I don't know where you get all the extras from when they had a conversation at the hospital and all that. That's absolutely not true. Say less, if you know what I mean. But instead of just saying less, since I've been in here, Snoop and other people been having people trying to bail the guy out, Keefy D, because he talking too much. Raising them trying to do stuff for Puffy because they say he talking too much. They even had somebody talk to me and say, hey, you can help him get free. I said, look, I don't have nothing to do with none of that, and I'm not leaving prison to go to Nobody County Jail. To the point they were saying, well, you can't leave and sacrifice a little bit in the county jail to stop that black man from getting life? Hell the no. I ain't wishing bad on him at all, because I don't want to see nobody go to prison. And like I told you last time, since I find out more details about certain things, I probably would go to the Vegas County Jail if me and Keefy D with Sellies. We'll have a good conversation after I give him, six upside his head, another 6 in his body, and another 2. But yeah, that's different than happened with Snoop didn't go to the house.
A popular online narrative claims Snoop Dogg went quiet after the documentary dropped. But even a surface-level look proves that idea doesn't survive scrutiny. He stayed active, continued posting, spoke on music and business, music, and openly showed support for 50 Cent. While critics cherry-picked moments to sell a disappearance that never, music, happened. This illusion of silence was built through selective attention. Facts that didn't fit the storyline were ignored while routine activity was reframed as avoidance. Their music were no frantic statements, no wiped accounts, no withdrawal from public life. Instead, he remained visible and focused on ongoing ventures, including his work with Death Row Records. In reality, there was no retreat at all, just a calculated refusal to dignify rumors that carried no weight, no proof, and no substance.
Just got out the gym, doing my workout boxing. Sure, you right. History would repeat itself. Cause nigga, you wasn't the only nigga in the room, nigga. You wasn't by yourself. There was other people in the room too. I'm not gonna say no names cause like you said, we don't talk. So why you on here talking? Let that go, man. And as far as Snoop and Corrupt writing my album, you ask them niggas that. Them niggas ain't wrote my album. Corrupt helped me with Do You See? Snoop helped me with This DJ. Other than that, everything else I wrote. So that's where you wrong at again. And as far as the tough guy, do you recall when we was at the World Club and the said Death Row and NWA? Who fired on that? Me. When you was at the Comedy Store, fighting that little buff ass at the Comedy Store, who saved your motherfucking ass? Me and C-Style. So what have I done to you? For you to launch out at me? Look, don't get mad at me, man. I ain't never done nothing to you. I wasn't signed to you.
The real separation between Snoop Dogg and Diddy right now isn't fame or influence, it's evidence. One case moved through years of investigations, testimony, and legal rulings that led to a conviction, while the other exists almost entirely in the space of rumor, association, and online speculation. As of December 2025, there are no federal charges, no indictments, and no active music cases tied to Snoop. And that distinction is critical. In a time when powerful figures are facing real consequences, the absence of law enforcement action isn't a music shield. It signals that proof simply isn't there. The industry may be under pressure, but fallout doesn't equal guilt, and collapsing the difference between verified facts and viral narratives only distorts reality. At the moment, accuracy matters most.
Documentary, there's a couple things I'll share with you guys on what I took away from it. But Rob, maybe share the clip on how he got access to some of the footage of the documentary. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Go for it.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps. Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix.
Okay, so that doesn't mean it's not true. Of course. But they relied on stolen footage, okay, is what they relied on. And then they ask about the history of 50 and him, issue that they've had. What's the one you just pulled up, Rob?
This is where they talk about the feud, and then I also have 50 Cent talking about Diddy's reaction to the documentary.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so funny. But watch this one here. Go ahead, Rob.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
Yeah, I mean, so that's that part, right? The fact that the feud with the two of them, hey, let me take you shopping. Like, you say that to a girl, and 50's like, what are you talking about? Take me shopping. How do you have a flipping mind? You want to take me shopping? And then last but not least, Rob, the other clip you have of 50 is talking about how he thinks Diddy's going to like this documentary. Go ahead, Rob.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
She can't even hold it.
Because you'll see people saying that. He may feel a different way about pieces and bits.
Right now, Snoop Dogg is caught in one of the internet's most predictable cycles, where uncertainty is recast as accusation, old rivalries are recycled as proof, and speculation is sold as urgency. Strip away the dramatic headlines and reaction, music, clips, and the reality is simple. There is no verified footage, no charges, and no vanishing act. This isn't a story about panic or damage control. It's a case study in how fast narratives form when a powerful figure falls and anyone in the same orbit becomes suspicious by default. Music. As the fallout around Diddy continues and new information develops, the real question isn't who gets pulled into the next rumor wave, but whether facts will be allowed to outweigh. Will evidence lead the conversation, or will assumptions keep deciding guilt before truth ever gets, music, a chance? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more updates. And as always, stay informed, music, and stay grounded.